Welcome to week 4. This week's topic is creating your GPS grad portfolio story with the focus on the reflective portfolio phase 1 reflect. Let's look at the module for week 4. First, here's our module. I would also like you to look over one of our guest networker links for Amanda Long, who's the Associate Director of Outreach and Engagement for the Department of Planning and Development, Career Planning and Development. She has great resources and a presentation on resume writing and creating your online career portfolio, which goes along with some of the questions in assignment 1. Also, here is what's due this week is discussion 2, creating your GPS grad portfolio story, reflective and public, going over the resources, and assignment 1. This is the first step in creating your portfolio, and creating a reflective portfolio, phase 1 reflect, and we'll go over that a little later. Okay. Let's look at our module for this week. This week, we are introducing and creating your GPS grad portfolio story. It's an empowering way for you to assess your learning, integrate your learning, and prepare to share your learning story. This module focuses on the process of reflecting on your learning. We will explore the process of creating your GPS grad portfolio story with the focus on reflective GPS portfolio, phase 1 reflect. What are the module objectives? They're related to the course objectives number 1, 4, and 5. After you complete week 4, you should be able to, or will be able to, discuss the process of developing a reflective portfolio and a public portfolio, discuss the mission, design, and format of a public portfolio, and create a learning story for your reflective portfolio. What are the module activities this week? Estimated time about an hour and 25 minutes. I would like you to review 3 of our ebooks. The first one is the GPS grad portfolio story process. The second is creating your reflective portfolio. And the third ebook is looking at guest networkers, particularly at Amanda Long's workshop. Okay, what's due this week? As I said earlier, discussion 2 and assignment 1, we'll talk about them. And also, take time to look at discussion 3, creating a reflective portfolio, grad portfolio story, and the information we're going to look at even more material about what constitutes creating a reflective portfolio. Module summary. Please review the checklist for this week. And what's up for next week? Well, we'll be creating a reflective portfolio GPS story with the focus on our second phase, assess. Now, let's look at discussion 2 quickly. There are, as I've said before, our ebooks and are set up as a resource, not as chapter books. So I have lots of links that will take you around the information. Again, these are resources for you to just review and look through, and then know that you have them available to you. So what's our discussion question for number 2? Creating your GPS grad portfolio story reflective and public to honor, understand, and connect your learning from self to society, bettering both. First, I would like you to review creating your GPS grad portfolio story, reflective and public, mission, design, and format presentation. And all these links are also found in your ebooks as well. Secondly, I'd like you to review the ebook that I created for our class, which is GPS Grad Portfolio Story Process. As I said, these are not chapter books. They are set up as resources. So I would just like you to look over and see what resources that you find interesting. And then answer the question, what did you learn from reading this information? Did you get some ideas for creating your portfolio? If so, please discuss. And please review the rubric expectations. Now, remember also, if you need more time for any of these coursework assignments, just let me know via email. D2L is the preferable way because I can find your request and you can get an extension. Now, let's look at the assignment that's due. In every assignment, I include a video with instructions for the assignment, so I'd like you to review that. Assignment 1 is set up for you to begin the process of creating your reflective portfolio, phase 1 reflect. Questions. What's your learning story? Designing your elevator speech, developing your personal brand, and designing and monitoring your digital professional presence. Directions. Review the following resources and use the attached worksheet to answer questions, and consult the grading rubric, which you will see in the assignment and on the video. Part 1. Review the links on the importance of knowing your learning story, developing your elevator speech, and developing your personal brand on the Complete Graduate Resource, which is our website for the course that I've developed for our class. Also, once you've done that, then Part 2, review the Developing and Monitoring Your Digital Professional Presence and College Grad 2.0, and then review the information on the resume and curriculum vitae. Again, these are just reviews. I want you to have access to the resources. They're not set up as a book. They're set up for you to look at the resources available for you. Part 3. After reviewing these resources, what did you learn about the importance of having a learning story, an elevated speech, a personal brand, and developing your monitoring and your digital professional presence? How will that help empower you in your career search, creating a resume, or developing a portfolio, interviewing, etc.? Let's take a look at the worksheet I developed for your answers. In every assignment that we do, the 6 assignments, I always include the GPS Grad Portfolios process rubric so you can see where we are. We're at step number 1. Now that you've looked at all those resources, I've listed 4 questions for you to answer, and you'll notice that I always include customized to fit your interest areas. In these things, there are no right or wrong answers. It's just a question of what you want to write about as related to the question. So first of all, what is your learning story? Question number 1. You can write about your academic learning story, inside college, outside college, whatever. Reflect on your academic story, employment, volunteer, or customize it to fit your learning story. Again, you can write this in any style, essay, bulleted points, whatever you'd like to do. I've even had students make videos because that was their preferable way of doing this. But you can, use the attached worksheet or just write it as an essay, whatever works for you. Number 2, after reviewing the resources, what did you learn about the importance of having a learning story, an elevator speech, a personal brand, and developing and monitoring your digital professional presence? And number 4, after reflecting on your learning story, how will that impact the design and content of your current resume and curriculum vitae? Will you be adding to it? Will you be developing it? Maybe you have lots of resumes or a curriculum vitae if you're going to grad school, or you're just beginning one. That's why I want you to look at Amanda Long's guest network resource. And number 4, after reflecting on your learning story, how will that impact on the design and content of your elevator speech? Create an elevator speech. That's just a short introduction of yourself. So I hope this helps. And remember, if you need an extension, please let me know and contact me in the preferable ways through the D2L email. And we are one day closer to graduation. See you next week, Dr. Joni.